What is the concept of enmeshment? What is the enmeshment mental recipe? I want to give it to you in a very simple way today. The word enmeshment as a mental recipe, it is a pattern, a mental pattern, where one person's concept of their identity, their decisions, their emotions are overly tied to someone else. This can happen from growing up in a home that was never safe. It never was safe whatsoever. They never felt safe. It's usually a parent, a partner, or a close family member, and they always had that sense of being tied to the other person and that you needed them. And that's where it got really interesting. So instead of feeling like a separate person from them, your brain starts to look at it like, I'm only okay if they're okay, and I need their approval or their closeness. I need their emotions to feel 100% stable. Yeah, that's how it goes. And this can make it really difficult when you know what you want, but you don't know what they want. You don't know what they feel. And you don't know what to think on your own because you're constantly borrowing what they think and feel all the time. That's what's really interesting about it. So you could look at the mental recipe of enmeshment with the very first idea of you feel responsible. You are responsible for other people's happiness, their emotions, especially family or anybody who's a partner. It blends into adult relationships later on down the road. It starts off with family young, then eventually it turns into relationships. So what happens is you struggle to make a decision because you have to constantly check in with somebody else all the time. And it gets frustrating for you. Or you might feel guilty when you choose something that other people might not actually agree with. You might feel like it's a betrayal to making them happy. Or if you actually do your own thing, that you're betraying them because you've become so enmeshed with them. So your sense of identity feels completely blurry when you're not connected at the hip to someone who's obviously important in your life. So what will you do? What can you do? Well, you might fight to keep that closeness with them, but totally abandon your own needs, totally abandon your own preferences, your own beliefs, your own identity. So you feel anxious, you feel separate, you feel alone. And that's what we call enmeshment. You are enmeshed with them. It's kind of like two fishing nets literally winding up, tied up together in some way. Now, how do we look at this in a healthy way? What can we do in a healthy way? Because it's obviously, I call it the undeveloped self, meaning that enmeshment is another form of the identity in the self not being fully developed. So we have to look at the mental recipe that's going to be supportive. So we have to take a look and recognize that other people's feelings are not your job to keep tabs on or to manage. I need you to understand that. And if you do decide to make those decisions based on your own thinking, even if they disagree, tough shit on them. If they don't like it, tough. All right? Because you have to develop your identity, and sometimes developing your identity means saying no to other people. Now, if you do get guilty or you feel some sense of uncomfortability, if you feel discomfort when you make an effort, be careful because you might let it control your choices. So when your feelings get uncomfortable, when you decide to do for yourself, you decide to guide your own life, there may be this feeling of, oh, what if I'm disappointing them? Oh, what if I'm hurting them? What if they don't approve of me? What if they don't love me? And this can happen in adult relationships just as much as younger relationships. So we have to look at the I am, right? The concept of identity, the first letter in identity is I. And when you say I am, whatever you add on to I am is added on to your identity. So when you gain strength in regards to who I am, who you are, and you base it on your own values, your own experiences, and your own decisions, your identity will get stronger as a result. And that is the healthy mental recipe. So when you stay connected to people and, all right, they're important in my life, but I'm not going to lose who I am. I'm not going to lose my own needs in the process. Okay, I'm not going to lose who I am. I'm not going to lose my identity or what I need. So what happens is you start to feel very stable and strong. Your identity is not dependent anymore. You're not needing the constant connection that you think you need. So this is what we call the enmeshment underdeveloped self mental recipe. I am Mario Leone. Welcome to the Voices of Victory channel, where we unpack a lot of self-development as it relates to identity. Take care. Have a good one.